It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, this evening I'm going to share with you how to build a profitable package to close the deal. Now, perhaps you may be thinking I'm talking about a product that you go to the store and buy. I'm going to surprise you because the product that we're going to discuss today is you. And you may think of yourself not as a product, but I'm going to share with you some different things that you can contribute to being that product, that valuable product. And I hope and pray that each and every one of you considers yourself that for the simple reason that you should always be marketable in what you do. My soror last week mentioned talking about branding. You are your brand and your brand is you. And so when I'm working with clients, I clearly try to inform them that when you walk through that door for a job interview, your brand must sell itself. When you talk to your children about succeeding or not doing something, you have to sell them on that. When you are an educator in a classroom, you have to sell them why that education that they're using will be valuable for them in the future. As a real estate broker, what I do is inform my agents and I inform myself when I go out there and take clients to look for a house. It's not about me, the house that I like, but it's the house that suits them, their needs and their desires. So building a profitable brand is very simple. And I will be remiss or remorse to say that I have to start with talking about the core existence of the package, how the package looks. Now, first impressions are lasting impressions. I know you've heard that plenty of times before in your life. And it really is true because people pay attention to what you look like, but they also pay attention to what you say and what you do. And so therefore, we must pay attention to those aspects when we're talking about marketing the brand of us and building a profitable brand. The first thing that I usually do when I get up, because I know my brand speaks and I have to speak to my brand, I have to pray. That's the first thing. I have to meditate. And I have to ask God what it is that he needs for me to do to pursue what I'm doing to build this brand. And if he does not speak back to me, then I do not act. And that's just a part of my communication method with the Most High. Now, if you are not a praying person, I'm going to say meditate. In your meditation, whatever you find to be the greatest source of your achievement, the greatest source of helping you to feel prosperous and profitable, then do that. But meditation is so important, so you need to make sure that you recognize that prayer is power food. Meditation is power food. You can't help nobody else until you help yourself. And that's the first aspect of building the brand, a profitable brand of you. The second thing I want you to make sure is that a lot of times we surround ourselves with negativity. Unfortunately, negativity confronts us every day. We just briefly spoke about that, what makes our head hurt. And so when something you know that does that to you, you have to be cognitive of that and remove yourself from that situation. Why must you remove yourself? Because who you surround yourself with. My favorite quote is by Jim Rohn. Your network is your net worth. And if you surround yourself with that negativity all day, the only net worth that you're going to receive is negativity throughout your day. So building a brand of you, you can't take negativity into the next level of your life until you remove that. When you're going on a job interview, if you're constantly negative throughout the process, then more than likely you're not going to be hired. When you're working with people on a regular basis, everything that comes out of your mouth, if it's negative, you're not going to get to work with that person. And so we have to be cognitive of who we surround ourselves with, what we listen to, what we hear is really food for our soul and is building the brand of us to make us more profitable. The third thing that I want you to be mindful of is that you have to be intentional and purposeful all the time. What is intentional and purposeful? Intentional is that whatever you do, make sure there's an intended purpose for it. What is an intended purpose? An intended purpose is, for me, I go back to me being a real estate broker, when I'm going to show a client a house, my intention is to sell them. Now, the purpose of that is why? Because I get a commission when I sell them their house, and if I do an excellent job, they're going to refer somebody to me, consistent flow of income, building a profitable brand of me in what I do. That's why what you do, you can't waste your time on stuff that's not intentional and purposeful, because time is a commodity that you cannot get back. And you want to make sure when you're investing in this profitable brand that you're getting your net worth back. The fourth thing, you want to consistently educate yourself. Now, you know, someone asked me the other day they said, Michelle, do you think college is necessary? So, you know, me being a person with 3 degrees, going on my 4th degree, I would have been really out of whack if I would have said no, because I'm sitting here with these degrees. So I said, you know what, I really do believe that in today's time, it's not as crucial as it was back then. Why? Because I know millionaires with no education, but they have self-education. So to say that education is not important or degrees is not important, it really just depends on what you want to do. You have to look at the brand that you want to build. If you're a doctor, obviously you need to go get some education, because you will not be doing no procedure on me if you're not educated in that area. Look at yourself the same way. If you are a life coach, which I am, a certified life and business coach, you know, it'll be kind of hard for me to go out there and start telling people what to do if I've never done it. And so when we're looking at building this brand of us, if you're going to be teaching, if you're going to be doing something, look at the credentials that you would need to assess for yourself before you go try to share with somebody else. Now, life skills are very important. I truly believe that, because my grandmother had a PhD in life. She never really went to school, quote unquote. She finished school but didn't go to school. And so the things that she taught me, I can't learn in the classroom. So some things that we can, but you must consistently invest in self in order to prosper and profit and build a profitable brand. The 5th thing I want to tell you is that you need to write down your journey. Why must you write down your journey? Because see, you might forget something. And our journey is so critical in our success. In that journey, daily, we transition. In that journey, daily, we learn something new. In that journey, daily, we have to fail. And in order to fail, success is around the corner. We won't succeed until we fail. And it took me a minute to realize that. How many people have failed somewhere in their life? You know, and failure. If you're not raising your hand, I need to talk to you and figure out what perfection do you have, because everybody has failed. And I tell you what, the thing that I love about failure, it does not feel good. And so you don't want to stay there. That's a season of contentment. And out of that season of contentment should come a season of abundance and growth, and that's success. And so failure is necessary, first of all, so we know that we ain't all that, okay? We're not all that. And then when we get that success, we feel good about ourselves, and we can tell other people, look, that struggle is only temporary. You'll get out of it. You'll grow out of it, building a brand of us. And then we got stories to tell people. You know, when we succeed through those trials and triumphs, that's another aspect of your growth. So journal your progress. Write down things daily that you encounter. You know, yesterday a horrific accident happened on the highway with a young lady driving down the highway and a boulder fell down. When she left her house that morning, I read what her husband said. He said that he told her he loved her and that he fed the dogs. Nobody knows when you leave your house what's going to happen. Recording a journal of memory, writing it down, those things are critical because we can always go back to them and remember our loved ones, remember occurrences in our life. I journal daily because I'm an author. So, but that's no excuse. I write down things that impact me on a regular basis and things that people say to me because I can turn it into a message or something that long or write a book. I always tell people, be careful what you tell me because I'm a writer and I will write your story for you, especially if you don't write it for yourself. Now, the next concept that I want to share with you is things that I work with when I'm working with my clients with life coaching and business coaching. I have a theory that I use to start, market, grow, and profit. And why do I say that? Because, see, most people fail right there. Start. You tell them to start, they're like, where? You know, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. You got Google. Google is your best friend. And if you have not assessed Google, then I encourage you to. But be careful because everything that you need to learn is not on Google. Some things will be incorrect. That's why it's important to go back to the other point I mentioned about educating yourself to another level. So when we're talking about starting, the 3 critical aspects that I share is plan, prioritize, and execute. Let's talk about planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so when you are planning, recognize that that is your blueprint for success. Okay, that's your blueprint for success. So we plan marriages, we plan weddings, we plan vacations, but we don't plan our life. We plan weddings, we plan vacations, but we don't plan our life. Just a little side note here, I was talking with someone, they were planning their funeral. Well-lived person, but they said they didn't want nobody to go to their funeral and say something that they did not do or did not want to be heard. They want to have their own message. Said, I ain't never heard that. I'm not ready to plan that. But I understood where they were coming from because they wanted their voice to be heard and known. So think about that. Plan. Whatever you want to be said in your words and in your writing, plan it. Then prioritize. Now, I have fallen short with this because sometimes I get distracted by different things, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.